guys, so it's Carly here from Sculpted Brows. We are going to give a couple people, we're going to give everybody a couple minutes to kind of start rolling in, get Lulu hooked up, and yeah, so obviously today we are working on a dark lips procedure. My beautiful client here has Melanin Rich Lips. I've already kind of done the contouring and just a little bit of the first pass, so that way you guys could see more of the procedure. You know, we've already done sketching, etc. But yeah, so stay tuned, ask questions. Amelia is here. She is actually holding my phone, but she is going to be able to tell me what you guys are asking, and let's get those questions answered. Let's see if we can get Lulu on.
Just sent her the live.
I'm kind of going over just the areas that are really heavy in pigmentation, melanin.
Okay, Glamour by Kate asked, did you numb her lips?
No, not at all. I don't use pre-numbing. I don't numb. It hurts them more, and it makes the procedure much more challenging.
All right, Lulu just joined. So
hey, Lulu.
Her.
I need to turn the volume up on my phone so I can kind of hear what's going on.
Okay, all the way up. We're just waiting on Lulu now. All right, she's here. Hey,
Oh,
Lulu.
beautiful.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic. So, I'll show you. We have this gorgeous model here today. She's obviously got some, you know, deliciously melanated lips here up on the top that we're going to work on neutralizing. I've already kind of done the contour pass, which you can see, super light, faint line, and I've already kind of opened up the skin with a nice first pass. I'm using the Illume and the neutralizer. Balance is 8-2 Illume to neutralizer to do both the contour and the first pass.
How's it going?
It's amazing. Listen, Illume is like a magic eraser. I have no other word for it. I mean, I barely have done a pass, and it's already, and I can't wait to show you guys what they look like before I even touch them. It's already brought them to such a natural color. It's really impressive. It comes up so fast. It's so pigmented. It's incredible.
Yes, guys. So dark lips correction can look natural. This is what we want. Make it natural as possible.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. I think the days of just kind of covering it up as like a lipstick are gone.
Jamie says hi.
Hi, Jamie. Make sure you guys ask lots of questions. I can't kind of, see what's going on, and I don't know what you guys would love to know. But right now, I'm just kind of working really slowly in small sections. I'm using the Velar, which I love.
Guys, if you have any questions about pigments, about equipment, about needles, you can address right here. This is the place.
Exactly.
All right, we have a question. What do you rub on the lips, Carla?
It's hustle butter, but any kind of non-petroleum-based Vaseline will work, or tattoo salve. She's got a little bit of dryness in her lips, so I'm just keeping them moist as I go. It makes the procedure more comfortable, and it also, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had tattoos, but the rubbing tends to be the worst part. But when you're working with hyperpigmentation or melanin-rich lips, You really need to see what you're doing, and you need to watch as that color develops because you don't want to take it too far.
Okay, now we have
Exactly. Yeah, this is very important. Do not create over trauma. That's
Exactly.
why we need to understand what we use and what pigments we use. It must be a super concentrated pigment, and also what going very fast to the skin. So it should be hydrophilic pigments, and it's just go like a butter in the skin.
Yeah, and they don't dehydrate the skin when you work, which is great. You know, a lot of pigments make the skin feel super dry when you work, and that's definitely not something you want in this case.
Okay, Make Me Feel 75 asks, are you lightening and adding color in this session?
Yes, so lightening, I don't really like to use that word, but what I'm doing is I'm kind of neutralizing that tone. So lightening, you know, a lot of people think that we're, you know, using chemicals. It's not a chemical. It's pigment, but I'm basically doing is camouflaging the darker color by using the correct composite complementary color for the undertone that was present in her lips. Not her skin, but her lips.
Okay. Like Microblading asked, what are you rubbing on her lips now? I think it's the green on the cotton rounds that she's asking about.
So that's it's membrane and water, distilled water.
Okay, and then now we have Studio Kazaru asks, how many passes are you doing?
It'll depend on her lips. So, you know, people always ask me, you know, how many passes do I do? I've done 1 and I've done 6. It just depends. Her lips are taking the pigment extremely well. The bottom lip has already had a pass, and as you can see, it's definitely much more evened out. She had some hyperpigmentation down here at the bottom and here across the center ridge. And as the color is blooming on its own, that's getting lighter and lighter. And I've done to about here on that second pass. So you can already see that color shifting. And, you know, I'm not going to do more than what her lip needs.
Okay.
And with the even flow pigments, I've noticed that most of the time I do a lot less passes and it takes me a lot less time too. Basically cuts my treatment time in half.
Now, are you switching needles throughout?
No, I probably will not switch a needle on her. She's responding just fine to a 1 RL and a 0.25, so there's no need for me to switch.
Yeah, depending on how dark the lips, also depending how thick the skin of the lips, you know. So how many passes, it's very individual. You know, you will see during the procedure because you will see right away how many passes she will need, how the skin responses. And also you need to make sure that you using not transparent colors. If it's very opaque, that you will see faster the results. And we need to understand that we will see the pigment through the skin. We implant in pigment in the skin, and the skin always will influence the hue results.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with Lulu more. Like some skin is thicker, and on areas of the lip, the skin is thicker too, like the corners and the centers where you use the lip more per se.
And usually melanin rich lips, they, you know, not even tone. That's why you need to apply color theory and work with different pigment shades. It's not only one color. You put like a neutralizer or illumine entire lip, and you just need to see what we need to correct.
Yeah, so if Amelia comes over here, she can see my cup's already kind of set up. So I have the mixture here of the Illume and the colorizer. And here I have a little bit of Illume with Melina, which is from the Even Flow set. And I have 1 drop of Illume in some Bare here as well to work on the different levels of her lip. She came in with 3 very distinct undertones. And, you know, obviously I'll test them in the lip to make sure that I'm correct. But, and if I need to make any adjustments, I will. But I already started with a pre-prepped ink cup to work on the different sections differently.
Lash Brow by Chris asks, how do you know when to stop?
When the lip is saturated, when the lamina is saturated. So, you see like on Instagram, a lot of times it looks like they're wearing like cakey lipstick on top of the lip. And that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is a nice even tone inside the sweet spot of the lip. And she's already pretty much there here in this corner. I might need to come back and do a little bit right here, but I'm going to wait for the color to bloom. I stop when the lip tells me to stop.
Looks beautiful.
Thank you. I wish I could see your beautiful face, but the camera's turned around the other way.
Yeah, with the coronavirus, we just want to stay home. We want to stay away from people, and hopefully everything will finish soon. I got a lot of questions about why in the set, Dark Lips Correction set, only 3 pigments. This is 3 basic colors, what you can mix with another pigment. Usually artists who do in Dark Lips Correction already have piles and piles of the pigments. So we don't want to create something like for any shade of the dark tones of lips, some and different color, because you can create based on these 3 colors. So you will need just yellow base and orange base, depending on the hue of the dark tone of the lips. So for example, if it's more like purple, dark purple, you can use Illume, you can use straight in some parts, because that it's usually not even the lips, or you can mix with a target color.
And when you mix, Lulu, like I know there's always some controversy, and maybe you can help me even answer this question for myself. Can I mix Even Flow with any pigment brand in the cup, or do I have to mix it in the skin? Right, I would have to mix it in the skin unless it was like maybe colors from your other Even Flow set. Yes, am I correct in saying that?
Of course, no. You can mix with any pigment, but you need to understand that you will dilute the concentration of the pigment.
Right.
Even Flow is a high concentrated pigment, and of course you will need maybe more passes if you're gonna use another brand. Where like more like heavy and also creamy texture and less coloring particles. So you
Gotcha.
need to learn about the pigment, what you implanting in the skin, how you implant in the skin, and
pigment knowledge is so important.
What happening after when we damage the skin, why we have such inflammation. It can be swollen, it's normal, like natural reaction of the body. Also, the temperature of the skin can increase because of
I can feel the temperature rising on her lip.
Yes, and also the redness of damages area. It's all natural inflammation process.
Yeah, it's absolutely natural. I know that a lot of people always ask me, some of them swell no matter what, but I also know that, if you avoid piercing the waterline too, you can definitely keep the swelling down. She really hasn't swelled much at all, and I'm motoring here. I'm definitely moving along.
And a lot of new artists, they want to do already dark lips correction after finishing the brow course. I'm like, no, guys, you need to understand that you need to learn a lot about skin, about the pigments. And when you can work without anesthesia and without blood, without any pain on the lips, maybe if you know the skin and the color theory, you can do dark lips correction.
I just did a post about that today myself. I probably get, I don't know, 10 DMs a day of people like, can you help me after it's been done, from both artists and, clients alike. And you know, this is not a beginner's procedure. It isn't, and you really need your experience. You need, like Lulu said, to be able to put pigment in the skin without any pain. I mean, you have no light pain. How do you feel?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's tolerable.
And you know, it's super important. You know, you do not want to mess here without the experience. Your clients should be able to get through a procedure without a lot of lidocaine. They should be coming back with even keeled results, things like that. You know, those are good indicators. You know, like Lulu said, that knowledge of the skin, the knowledge of the pigments is critical. It really is.
Okay, Almond Joy 79 said, what would be the technique if the person had dark spots on their lips? So you kind of did that from the beginning. The first pass, you just went over the hyperpigmented.
Exactly. You know, you have to work the lips in sections. You know, it's not, you have to look at the undertone. If there are multiple undertones, you need multiple pigment colors per undertone to get an even result. I mean, imagine you have a piece of paper that has, you know, different colors on it, and you want everything to become a uniform color. You would color the sections in differently, you know, to create that uniform color. So I'm pretty much over half of the lip at this point, and you can really see there's a huge shift in color between here and here.
It's beautiful.
You know, and guys, when you know, bleeding, like you might get a pinpoint. You know, it's not the end of the world. You know, that's not bleeding. But when they're bleeding and it's mixing with the pigment, that's definitely not.
Okay, now what needle and are you using?
Long taper, single point round liner, and a 0.25. Because she has some pretty substantial, thick, natural volume, and I wanted to be able to get into that lamina without really destroying the surface of her lip tissue. If I had used a short taper, I would have definitely had to do a little more trauma to her lips. So I went with a longer taper here. I'm so excited to see the new longer taper, Vertex Lulu.
Oh yes.
So excited. So excited.
Yeah.
It's like an early Christmas
Obviously, it's for very advanced level because it's very long taper and it's super sharp. But how I notice if you work very gently, very like just like this, you know, you're not putting the all like needle inside, then it's no swollen, no blood, and it's just so beautiful implantation. You can achieve maybe from 2 passes. You can do like lip blush on a
Yeah. I am, like I said, I think that's my early Christmas present. I'm so excited. So excited.
Okay, official Philip Schwartz said to use a dry pad to wipe the pigment away. No, we're
No.
using the membrane.
It's a membrane, and I don't even wipe with just the membrane on the towelette. I always moisten it with a little tattoo salve. This happens to be hustle butter. Before I'd even just use a cotton round to wipe. Wiping creates irritation, and I just need to see what I'm doing and without irritating her lip.
And on your power supply, what's your speed range?
Okay, so that is the magic question that everybody asks. What speed do you run at? Guys, your speed is relative to your hand. I don't even know what speed I'm at. I honestly turned my power supply on, and I can see that the dots are right, my implantation is right. If you understand what your dots need to, what your shading needs to look like, I am running a 0.7. And that changes, you know. She happens to be my second procedure of the day, and my hands are a little tired, so I'm asking for a little more help from my machine, and I up the speed. Sometimes I'm at 6.3, sometimes I'm at 7.1. It also depends on the lip I'm working on. I know that I need my dots, my shading dots, to look a certain way and feel a certain way when they enter the skin. The vibration in my non-working hand, my stretching hand, I want to feel a very consistent low timbre vibration in my non-working hand the entire time I'm working, and that may mean I need to adjust the speed in my machine, but I'm not married to the speed of my machine.
Yeah, another question what I got, what machine is the best for the dark lips correction? of course, you want to use something very powerful.
Yes.
Not like something very like gentle machine. You want finish this work fast. And usually Melanin Rich Lips, they have like a very hard skin. So if the machine very weak, not powerful, you're not gonna do the job. It's gonna just damage and over traumatize the skin. So it can lead also in hyperpigmentation or
Yeah.
hypopigmentation.
You're not doing this with a digital machine or a PMU pen that, you could, get on Amazon for
Yes.
$75. You're not doing it. And not only that, the needles are not ideal either. You need high quality machine and high quality needles.
Exactly. So for this procedure, I use Flux S because this is very, very powerful machine. It's a little bit stronger than Velar, but Velar also can do the job depending also lip condition.
Yes. The stroke length is different too, right? Is the Flux S and the Velar?
Yes, Velar has 2.1 and the Flux S is 3.5. So
Yeah.
3.5 it's definitely longer stroke and more power.
Yeah, it's
more,
like
more torque in the machine.
Yeah, it's a beautiful machine. I actually used it this morning and all yesterday. I don't know why I used this one this morning and not the Flux, but I can always switch if you guys want to see.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
I see shorts. I thought Steven.
Yeah, we'll set up the Flux right now. Lulu, I actually took, we tested, I actually took and put a 2.5 in her Velar.
Yes, yeah.
That's why I used to do
Yeah,
that.
Carla told me. Yeah, I was surprised, like, where you guys got this?
We'll see. I think that's why she likes it. And her wrist hurts, so the weight, but the weight on the Flux is just so, it's so good. Like,
the fact that it
even
has
though
no
it,
torque.
even though it feels big, or like, even though it feels, it looks big, like when you see it like this, it fits
It's
the
not
palm of my
big.
hand. And the weight is all right down here. It's not up here. It doesn't, I think it's perfect. I use it
If
for
you like
scalp.
a long stroke, maybe you will need to try Apollo. Apollo's 2.8, and also weight where the center to the grip.
She used to like it. She just doesn't like the shape of it. She doesn't like the weight.
I'm picky. Although what I
Yeah, we need
love
to be very comfortable with our equipment, especially when you're doing this type of job, when you need to work sometimes like 5 hours, yeah, depending how large
So
the list.
everybody can see the difference of the. Well, let's put the Zion out here too.
what I love about you don't realize how much weight is poured in parts. Even though I have the Airlight
The quartz.
cable, you don't realize what it really puts pressure on your hands.
These are the size differences.
So this is
That's the Flux,
Flux.
the Zion, and the Apollo, or the Apollo, the Zion. Apollo's in the middle, but weight-wise, they're all. I mean, the Apollo's really light, but weight-wise, these are pretty close. And anybody who uses the Zion, it's not really off. This is just a little taller because of the battery, but weight-wise, they're very similar.
Yeah, the beauty of Cyanus machine, that it's universal machine that you can adjust for any type of work, and also you can adjust the softness and how hard machine can hit the skin, and also you can change the calm. This is very unique machine that you can put very little calm for lining work, such as lips or eyeliner, or you can put some very long stroke 3.8, and it can leave very nice beautiful pixels on the eyebrows, or also shaded eyeliner.
Yeah, I mean, the microbeam machines, no matter which ones I've ever used, they've all been just the best in the world. Yeah, I mean, and I've got a drawer full of machines that just I would never use again, never.
Okay, Lash Brow by Chris asked if a longer taper is less trauma.
Depends. So
Depending how you work, guys. It's not a trauma, you know, from the equipment. It's trauma from your movements, from your speed. It's everything, like everything combined in one thing.
yeah,
It can trauma. It can cause more trauma.
exactly. Machines don't make mistakes. People do, just like Lulu said. So I am using a longer taper because she has natural volume. So if you understand what the lips are made out of, if you understand the lip skin, you understand that you need to be tattooing in a certain layer. And if you're tattooing in the surface layer of the lip, all you're doing is creating trauma. It's like scraping, your body with sandpaper, and you don't want to do that. So if you have a lot of natural volume, you need to be able to bring your needle into that area and still deliver pigment without causing a lot of trauma. If you're using a short taper on a lot of volume, you're going to have problems. It's the opposite problem. So if you have somebody with artificial volume like filler, the filler goes kind of into that same area that you would be tattooing and takes up space. You need to be using a short taper, just like if you have somebody with, older skin or older lips that have lost collagen or thinner lips. You need to understand what you're working on. You need to know your canvas.
Exactly, and a lot of people think that we working in a first layer of the skin. It's a epidermis, but we work in the first layer of dermis under the basement membrane. And if you're gonna work in the epidermis, the procedure, like a result's not gonna last. After 1-2 months, you're not gonna see any pigment because this layer of the skin continuously renewing with the cells sides. Yeah.
And it's also traumatic. And if you're dealing with somebody with are obviously increased melanin already in their skin, they're already prone to hyperpigmentation, and it's always a risk when you're working on someone who's got melanin rich lips, and you don't want to exacerbate that risk by scratching up the surface and doing damage. It's also why experience is really critical. You need to be delivering lip blush in the correct area with no trauma to that surface layer before you even attempt to do this. And I can't stress that enough. I really can't.
Yes. So what happened when we implant in the pigment? Our body takes the pigment some particles, so it wants to remove from the body as soon as possible.
Yep.
And that's why you can see swelling and temperature and redness on pigmented area, because inflammation occur in the body, and the body wants to fight with the pigment. And this is when immune system start reacting on procedure what we're doing.
When are the new Vertex available?
Where are the Vertex needles available?
When are the new ones available?
The long taper ones. I don't know. When are the new? How far are you guys in the development of the long taper needles?
Oh, hey Lulu, when is the long taper Vertex coming out?
Oh, we just tested and we approved the test, so maybe in a couple months.
Nice. So I've just kind of finished the top lip, guys, and you can see that the color is almost completely shifted. Should probably need a little bit more right here and right here in the corners. Those are always kind of the hardest areas to pigment. But I'm going to kind of come in here with the corrective pigment to just kind of tampen down. She's got a little band right here through the center. And then I may bring the whole lip a little bit of a natural color by using a little bit of Lulu's Melina to kind of even everything out and get a little blending going. How you feel?
Yeah, you can see that there are no trauma, no like swelling skin, everything like beautiful. And they will heal nice also.
Yeah, beautifully. She won't have any, like, you know, people are always wondering about the healing process. If it's done right, there should be no major flaking or scabbing or huge chunks of your lips coming up. Like, no, something's not right. Keep them
Yes.
moist.
Yeah, keep them moist, clean, and also remove the lymph. If you're gonna remove the lymph during the first day, especially, then you will avoid creation of big scabs in the future.
Yep.
So also, we need to understand that we need to prepare skin for the implantation, for the PMU procedure. We need to use the scrub. I recommend my clients use scrub,
Yep.
start like a week before the procedure, and every night doing this before going to bed, and then apply also Aquaphor or any like moisturizing balm on the lips.
Yeah, coconut oil, raw honey is really great if you don't want to be sticky. I get that, but you have to come prepared. If you come, your clients come with chapped lips, damaged lips, dry lips. I won't do the procedure.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I usually reschedule appointment if I see the lips very dry and sharpy, and also you need to stay hydrated. At least 8 glasses of water a day. So also no alcohol because it will dry your body.
Yep.
It's gonna make a big, huge change during the implantation, and you will see that we have less pain to the client, and also no blood, and the pigment going.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually it feels like you're breaking your needle on anything that's chat. You can't get underneath it, and it's not good.
Okay, so one more time for the pigments. We're using the Illume
Loom
and neutralizer. 8 to 2.
8 to 2, and I'm going to shift to Illume and Melina when I go back over to do like a full pass that isn't just concentrated on the darker spots.
Yeah, I see some artists also sending questions about when we should do touch up the second procedure. And I use the formula age, age of the client plus 10, and it's going to be the number in a days, how many days we need to wait until the skin fully regenerates.
Yep.
So for example, I'm 35 plus 10, it's going to be 45.
Yeah, that's a
45
really,
days.
really good way to do it, especially with Melanin Rich Lips. The lips may be healed from the outside in 3 to 5 days, but the color takes 3 to 6 weeks just to stabilize. And you can't do a second treatment or a second procedure if the color hasn't stabilized. You don't know what color what color the undertone is coming back to you as.
I see also some questions in forums, people when they doing dark lips correction, and then they post some pictures when they got even darker, and usually it's happened from like 8 to 10 days after the initial procedure.
Yes.
But you need to wait like 2 months to see heal results. Don't judge now.
No, you can't. Now, there's difference between Toronto. I've seen those too. There's difference between like they were to something more natural.
And also, we need to predict what will happen in 2 years, in 2, 3 years,
Yeah,
how
that
the pigment,
conversation.
what pigment we will see. So you need to understand like your pigments really well, what it has. And you always can find SDC sheets like Permablend has on their website, or Painful Pleasure also, Even Flow. And you need to read the formula and understand all CI numbers, and also how long they will stay in the skin, life fastness.
And also what the stronger pigments are, right? I mean, you and I had that amazing conversation when you were here last week.
Yes, so usually a lot of people doing, I see, like a melanin rich lip correction with a lot of white in the pigment. You can see amazing results because it will lift this darkness and also neutralize cool tones. If you're using some like peachy, very light peachy pigment, and maybe it's like a 90% of white in this pigment, and in a couple years you will see that this reddish orangey undertone gone, and you will see just light, very light, like a white lips. So we don't want this result.
All
That's
those
why
under, kind of what's been
that's
happening with all those like under eye treatments.
yes, yes. So then it's not possible to remove. It's
No,
not possible. And also cover, imagine cover dark tones lips. It's gonna be very traumatic, and it's you will need like multiple of session to correct them. That's
it's
why in
very,
the
very
even
hard to
flow,
correct lips. Very hard to get the pigment out once it's in.
for this reason, in even flow dark lip correction set, we add only safe amount of titanium dioxide. And we also add new color, it's Illum. In Illum, we have yellow 97, and also neutralizer, new formula, also we add yellow, and it's work like white, okay, and it's very strong color, it's opaque, and it will lift the darkness. So it will help you without titanium dioxide. So this is very unique pigment because we can work with huge amount of titanium dioxide and correct ethnic lips.
Without having to worry about that white being the result a couple of years down the road, which is unbelievable. And I will say, like, I mean, I've worked with pigments that are on that peachy side, and then I started working with Illum when you gave it to me the other day, and it reacts exactly the same way in the skin. It's not scary. It's not like you're tattooing
Yeah.
bright yellow into their skin. If it's implanted correctly and you're using the correct color for the undertone of the lip, as you're working, it's literally like watching a magic eraser. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's wonderful. It really is wonderful.
And I started implementing my artistic background. I was a painter in the past, and in order to counteract the effect of dark lips correction. And when I came up with my method, I embraced a lot of heat from the industry, and a lot of just everyone told me that is not possible. But based on my artistic background and knowledge of the pigments and the equipment, I knew that it's possible. And
It's absolutely possible. And now, is it without risk? No. I think that that's something that this industry has tried to deal with, it, doing things that don't have risk. And you're going to have risk. You're traumatizing an area
yeah,
that
and
it's going to respond very differently to trauma.
actually negative reaction of the industry never stopped me,
No.
and actually push me continue explore this way, better technique and better tools, better equipment, and also, you know, to help people improve their appearance.
Yeah,
And
it's no there should be no there's no, right? Like you said, you know, you don't let that stop you. It's more about just using the proper techniques and having the proper education, the proper background. You know, you can't just, you know, take a lip class, you know, on YouTube
yes,
and do this. And we don't
yeah.
test things on our clients, you know.
So Lash Brow by Chris says lip skin doesn't have pores or sweat or oil glands. Does it regenerate like brows? Can you go over about lip skin more? No one really goes deep into lip skin much.
So lips are not, well, okay, so lips, your skin on your face is keratinized tissue. Lips are not. Lips are non-keratinized tissue. Lips are a really unique place on the body. There's only a few of them. Have multiple transitional points between skin and keratinized and non-keratinized skin, and also skin and membrane. When you're talking about what this is as you go down, so people call this the vermilion border because this is actually called the vermilion, and the vermilion is the top layer of the skin, and the reason people don't go through it is because people don't know the answer.
Exactly.
Okay, so the lips don't have an epidermis and a dermis. They have what resembles the epidermis and the dermis, right? That belongs to keratinized tissue, not non-keratinized tissue. What resembles the epidermis in the lips is made up of 4 layers: the surface layer, the intermediate layer, the basal membrane, the basal layer, and the basement membrane. Underneath that, you have what resembles the dermal layer, and in that dermal layer, you have the lamina propria, and you have the submucosa. The submucosa is where the blood vessels live and the nerve endings live. You need to be tattooing in the dermal layer, particularly what resembles the papillary layer inside that dermal layer, and that is the middle portion of that lamina. It's not the top portion that's attached to the basement membrane. It's not the bottom portion that's attached to the submucosa. And going too deep is easy to recognize because you're going to get a lot of swelling, a lot of bleeding, and your client's probably going to be jumping off the table because it's super painful. If you're too shallow, you're just going to be tearing up the surface, and the color won't look like it's inside the lip. As you can see, it doesn't look like there's anything on her surface. It just looks like her lip now. And that's the difference between tattooing inside the lamina and not. And that comes with experience, and it comes with knowledge. People are always like, how do I know I'm there? You feel it, you hear it, your machine responds to it. That's why taking classes in person is so important. You can't learn how to feel this online. I'm sorry, you can't.
But Stylist Beauty by Sheila says that you can take the Dark Lips course online for more information, which is true.
Absolutely. And, you know, Sheila and I know each other. Sheila also is an artist. And, you know, the class is for experienced artists. And, you know, I've said it, you know, even in the class that, you know, this is for people who have experience. And, you know, you should be already tattooing in these layers. And, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of trainers out there who don't have proper information and training. I know Lulu goes over it really in depth in her classes. I know I go over it really in depth. But if you don't have the experience, the knowledge, and the understanding, you're going to run into problems for sure.
In the aftercare, this is definitely just keeping it moist and then remembering to come back for your second session.
Can you say that again?
Somebody's asking about the aftercare.
Oh, I just, like Lulu said before, keep them moist. Aquifers are a really good one. Coconut oil I really like. Shea butter, any kind of natural oil is really good. Stay away from artificial stuff like lip glosses and chapsticks and things like that.
Yeah, I also recommend avoid any acid or any like salty food or drinks on your lips.
Yep.
No salt, no acid. Also, don't sleep with your pillow like this in the face. And then also avoid any alcohol on your lips. at least for 2 days. And then on the morning, you will need to wash with a gentle soap your lips in order to remove this lymph if you store during the night. And then also I notice if you apply a really small amount of aftercare ointment, it will heal better, because if you apply very thick layer, you're not gonna have anything, because you kind of creating this, you know, steam room between skin and the cream. And especially now when you're wearing the mask, it's like a steam room in your mask. Also, avoid any sauna.
Yeah, any hot yoga or excessive sweating. Don't go swimming in the salt water or chlorine. That's a big one too.
Yeah, so avoid any like harsh contact with your lips, because we need to treat this like a trauma. Also, before the procedure, I recommend my client take this lysine.
Yeah,
You can order online, because usually dark lips also very sensitive and overreacting to any like trauma, and this will help also with the breakouts with the lip sores.
yeah, and if you do get lip sores or your
Herpes.
clients are prone to them, they really should be taking antibiotic or antiviral. It's you don't want to get cold sores. It hurts.
Yes, then your work all gonna be destroyed, and you will get just patch lips. And imagine to cover this, it's gonna be just many sessions more. So I usually recommend my clients take Valtrex,
Yeah, or
500.
cyclovir is the other one, right? I think, yeah. I think a cyclovir is just a longer treatment, but it's, yeah, exactly.
So 5 milligrams a day, no, twice a day, and also start maybe 2-3 days before the procedure and continue more 4-5 days
Yep.
after the procedure, because usually it's happening after 72 hours of the procedure.
Yeah, and some indicators that it's happening are like severe tingling. But people who are prone to them and know they get them are usually really well aware and have kind of the medication on hand and they know what they feel like. But people who aren't prone to them don't normally get them.
Yeah, we need to be very responsible, and our clients too. And I recently had touch up, and for the one my client, and lip blush, and she forgot to take medication, and she get always herpes, and of course she got after the procedure, and it was just horrible, you know. And you know, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want this. I don't want this client who not responsible and who don't care about my work, and
Or your time, sure.
yeah, my time, my broken back after the procedure, you know. They don't care. And like,
No, they don't.
why I need to spend my time for this client who can't take even medication before the procedure?
Yeah, I mean, it always kind of blows my mind. You know, it's like they won't. I don't know. They're willing to come in and have it done and spend the money to have it done, but they won't spend the 40 or 50 bucks on the medication.
Yes, and they usually, you know, people who have like a big lips, you need to work like 3 hours on this, and they want lipstick look. Oh my God. And then you see Instagram, and maybe my clients will look this video because this is her recently, and I saw her on the yacht with with another client who had also lip blush procedure, and I saw them together drinking on the sun with this salt water, everything.
The
Like,
salt water.
I was shocked. I'm like,
Oh
that's
my
it.
goodness.
I'm never gonna take this clients. Sorry.
Again, no, you can't. That's that's terrible. That's terrible. No, I mean, you put in all this hard work. Your clients need to respect it as much as we respect it as artists to do it properly. It's stressful to work on someone's face, and it takes a lot of responsibility and effort from as an artist. And you know, when my clients honor that and respect it themselves, everything is just beautiful and flawless. But otherwise, you know, not so much. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's terrible.
Yes. Our clients should be very like aware, and we need to educate them because you did your job, okay? And then this is in their hands. Beautiful results.
Yeah, it is. It's part client effort. It really is. So just so you guys know, I have switched color. It's a little bit of a loom. I think the ratio is 3 to 8, and Melina. So I can kind of blend everything in.
Looking so good.
Another artist asked me, can he use Malbec, what is really, really cool tone, like a burgundy color, for their second step procedure? Yes, after when we neutralize and lift the darkness, can he use this like very cool red color? But Malbec has a little bit blue pigment in it, so you need to understand that dark lips usually heal cooler, okay? So imagine this Malbec will heal even more cooler than it is, you see. So no, of course you can't. You need to understand that even if you go with like a regular red color, usually it's cool, it will look a little bit cooler. So you need to put maybe 1 drop of Illum, just make sure that we're not going again to this coolness.
I very rarely use just one pigment color. I like to custom blend stuff. But the other day I had somebody come back. They healed absolutely a beautiful, very natural nude shade, and I hate using it because it's different for everybody. But she wanted that little pinkier pop, and I did a drop of Melback in with a little bit of a loom to stabilize, and Melina as the base, and they just look like bee stung. They're beautiful.
Yes, I use Illum also for the brow mix if I wanna get more like golden, beautiful shade of brown. I'll use, and also you can use neutralizer for the eyebrows and colorizer. If you do eyeliner, you can put like 1 drop of colorizer to your black color, and you will get in the end like a really, really black heel result. So this is really nice.
That is really nice.
Yeah,
I,
because
I love that the colors really hold super true. Like whenever I even use just the regular even flow set, like they come back as I put them in. I mean they hold. I mean, yes, intensity wise they may have shifted, but the tone is the same. They
yeah,
really
because your
hold.
work also gentle and you don't create over trauma. So this is the key.
It's beautiful. I love these colors. I think Melina is absolutely one of my favorites. I use it quite a bit, quite often. I mean, I use them all.
Malina and Lulu's Rosé is 2 top selling pigments.
They're gorgeous. They really are gorgeous. The tone in them is just beautiful.
My favorite mix also clay and Malbec 50-50, and you will get beautiful reddish color, very rich, and but warm undertone.
Yeah, and that's something that's really important for people to know because red is really hard. You know, people come in and they want a red lip, and all red heals pink,
Yes,
except for.
exactly. And that's why we included red color in the dark lips correction set. So if your client want pinkish lips in the end, you can use colorizer.
Yeah, I love
And
to use colorizer too for really, really, really stubborn melanin, deep melanin. I bring the neutralizer up by mixing a little bit of that colorizer in, and that works out really well as well.
And of course, you can use for any lips, not just for the
Oh yeah,
correction work.
absolutely. As a matter of fact, Amelia, who's holding the phone, has some colorizer in hers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, beautiful. I love them. Wow.
Hers were colorizer and Lulu's rosé.
Nice. It's a good choice. Me too. I love to mix, and I never use straight from the bottle, but I wanted to create something what people can use without guesswork, you know, for some artists who doesn't want, you know, to mix.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of artists using just straight color, you know.
So
the
one the other
next,
day that you reposted, the girl did a beautiful set with just colorizer. They were really beautiful. You'd reposted it. They were really, really. It's got this like I don't know. The undertone is unlike anything else. It's a really beautiful color.
that's why we call this line straight. And upcoming eyebrow set also will have hybrid formula that you don't need to mix and you don't need to add anything like warm orange or yellow, and it will have beautiful true color even after years of the procedure. And we mix minerals and organic pigments.
It's really important for people to understand what their pigments are in. I mean, I'm sure you get it quite a bit. You know, people just want to know what color. You know, they don't ask why you chose that color or why you chose that pigment brand. They want to take that color and put it on somebody.
Say hello.
We work like that. Hi, Nicole.
Oh, that's so cute.
She's just precious.
What? Nicoleta. Moo. Nicole, you want to see dark lips correction? No.
Guys have any more questions? I don't know what the time clock is, Amelia.
4:57.
All right, so we're about to run out of time on live. So if you guys have any last minute questions, go right ahead. I am going to finish these up. There's not much left. They're pretty much done. You guys can come over here and take a look. But yeah, she's pretty much done. I'm gonna let the color sit for a second, let it bloom, make sure there's no hidden spots, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll turn it towards you so you can go fine.
Nicole, no.
Pointed at me. Hi, Nicole. You're so
Say hello.
beautiful, like your mommy and daddy. Yes, you are.
Hello. No.
Oh, that's it. She's on the go.
She said no when she wants something.
What's your secondary numbing? If I use any, it's a 5% lidocaine, and I think I have some Zenza over there, but I didn't use any today on her at all. Any last minute questions? Oh, you're so welcome for the time. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. I'll take my mask off and I'll wave.
Bye, guys, and I wish you never take no for an answer.
Exactly.
Always believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to change the standards, and we need to be always responsible and make sure that we're doing this procedure in the safest way possible.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lulu, for coming.
Thank you.
And now, but Steve, make sure we save it. Yeah. I don't know how to do that.
I think I saved.
That's an instant.